Hello all, Stupid Skull Studios here. Been a while since I've done a video, but I just had a really cool idea for a video and wanted to do it. Today I'll be talking about a theory I've had regarding Death Stranding 2, my most anticipated game of the decade. For those who have been on my channel before, you'll know that the first Death Stranding is one of my favorite games of all time, might even be a top 5. And so I've had this theory for like a month now, or whenever the last trailer came out. So it's regarding the new character who looks like Solid Snake. He seems to be a character that everybody is very fascinated by, especially me. And I have a theory about him, but it's not necessarily a theory where I'm trying to predict what's going to happen in the story or anything like that. It's more a theory about the themes and symbolism that we could see in Death Stranding 2. And so what I mean by that is basically I think that this new Solid Snake type character is supposed to represent Hideo Kojima's resentment towards the Metal Gear franchise. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you've been a Kojima slash Metal Gear fan for a while, you would know that ever since I think it was Metal Gear Solid 2, Hideo Kojima kept saying whatever the newest Metal Gear game was, that it would be his last. He started with MGS2, he said that was going to be his last one. Then he said MGS3 was going to be his last one. Then he wasn't even going to direct Metal Gear Solid 4. He was going to have somebody else do that, but he ended up directing MGS4 anyway. And of course, then he went on to do Peace Walker and both of the MGS5 games. And it's very likely that he was either encouraged or maybe even forced by Konami to keep making Metal Gear games, since that was one of their most profitable franchises ever. They're even bringing it back with the MGS3 remake, which I'm very excited for. And so, hold on, I need a minute to compose myself. So, it feels like, it's always felt to me that Hideo Kojima is not really a franchise guy. He always says that when he's making a game, even if it's like a sequel, he always just focuses on one at a time. And, if you look at most of the Metal Gear Solid games, I think pretty much all of them, except for Ground Zeroes, did not end on cliffhangers. They had very conclusive endings, and they usually felt very complete. The same thing with Death Stranding 1. For a while, I didn't even think there was going to be a Death Stranding 2. And so I'm extremely excited that it's happening. I honestly wouldn't be surprised, though, if Death Stranding 2 is the final Death Stranding game. I really hope that there's a third game, but I don't know. It's up to Kojima to decide. And so yeah, back to the theory though. This situation with this new character, it almost kind of reminds me of what's going on with the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom. He was known for playing Tony Stark slash Iron Man, who was the first MCU hero and basically the ultimate MCU hero in a lot of people's minds. And so now it's interesting that it's almost like the hero from the previous series, the Infinity Saga, is now the final boss of the Multiverse Saga, the new MCU series. It's kind of like that. I know that this new character isn't literally Solid Snake. I'm not trying to theorize that. I don't even really think that Death Stranding takes place in the same universe as Metal Gear, even if there is a part of me that kind of wishes that was the case. But so yeah, I think that having a character who looks like Solid Snake be in an antagonistic role, that just makes so much sense to me, given, you know, everything that I laid before you. I also forgot to mention the whole debacle back in 2015 when Hideo left Konami. He left Konami. We still don't fully understand why, although there's many theories that I'm not going to go into in this. Maybe that'll be a whole other video. But so, yeah, I just think it's interesting that we have a character who looks like Solid Snake in an antagonistic role. And, you know, in the past, Hideo Kojima seems like he has sort of regretted that he didn't get to make as many different original projects as he could have because he was constantly making Metal Gear games. And, you know, admittedly I could be wrong about this. It might be the opposite. Maybe, you know, this character is supposed to be like a celebration or a remembrance of the series that got him to where he is now. You know, I that totally could be it. And also, it's entirely possible that this character could be like Cliff. Cliff from the first Death Stranding. You know, he was the antagonist, but ultimately, in the end, it turned out that he really wasn't a bad guy at all, arguably. And so that could happen with this new guy. I don't even know his name. I don't remember. I've mostly been trying to ignore news about Death Stranding 2 lately because I don't want anything that I could perceive as spoilers. I kind of want to go in blind, even though I've seen the first two trailers in their entirety. With this new trailer, I've only seen little bits and pieces of it, like the snake part. So yeah, you know, there's a lot to be excited about with this new game. You know, I'm just very interested to see how the story plays out, and, you know, I wonder if this game will kind of feel like a reflection of Hideo Kojima's career up to this point. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all. I kind of wanted to keep this a brief video. Maybe if I have more, if I come up with more thoughts or theories, maybe I'll make videos about those as well. So thank you for tuning in. This is Stupid Skull Studios signing out.